Friends, a president, a national team captain, and a vice-chancellor can ignite and unite. Cultures, college campuses, and nations transform when those at the top exercise leadership using cultural intelligence, an intelligence that demonstrates that sport is more than a sport. It's more than a winning team. It's about the culture, the history, and the people. Charlie Titus, my good friend for life, serves on multiple boards and is a prominent and respected figure in college athletics across the United States. He is the former Vice-Chancellor of Athletics, Recreation, Special Projects and Programs for the University of Massachusetts in Boston. At UMass, he helped build college athletics from ground zero into regional, conference, and national championship winning teams. He is a multi-awarded coach. He's been inducted into 6 Halls of Fame, and he has transformed young lives, communities, cultures, and college campuses in the United States, in West Africa, and beyond. Crossing continents into Africa and stepping back into time to 1995, a president, Nelson Mandela, and a national team captain, Francois Pienaar, ignited and united a nation. It was barely a year after the first landmark democratic elections in 1994 when Mandela became the first democratically elected president in South Africa, but the country was still clinging to old apartheid identities and to a white minority sport of national pride, South African rugby. After decades of Western anti-apartheid exclusion in international rugby, it was a new dawn, a new day, and technically a new South Africa. South Africa hosted the World Cup 1995 rugby tournament. Charlie recalls that magical Mandela moment vividly, as do I and millions worldwide. In that final game, the final drop goal went over the posts and the game of glory went to the hosts. South Africa won the 1995 World Cup. It was a double victory. Nelson Mandela walked onto the field with his arms held high in that beaming smile. He stepped into a stadium with a thunderous roar when he presented the World Cup trophy to the national team captain, Francois Pienaar. Instead of wearing a presidential suit, Mandela captured the cultural symbol of the moment. He wore the captain's jersey in green and gold, and South Africans of every race, religion, color, and creed could not wait for the good news to be told. It was a double victory, forever changed. All too often in managing complexity and disruptive change, investments in time and money focus on the wrong thing. Mandela understood the sport was more than the sport. It was more than building a winning team. It was about the culture, the history, and the people. South African rugby had long become an embedded symbol in white Afrikaans identity and culture. It was a culture and a symbol designed to reinforce Afrikaner identity, masculinity, and a resistance to the former colonial British rule and dominance. It was a powerful symbol of white Afrikaans identity. But for Black South Africans, it was a symbol of minority rule and racial oppression. It was a symbol and had a history of resistance to the British, a game introduced by the British, conquered by the Afrikaners to beat the British at their own game. And then it became a symbol of post-apartheid transformation, a national team, the Springboks, energized by a president and a captain to use the sport as a catalyst for change, to change the heads and hearts of a nation, to build unity and reconciliation. In 2026, the current landscape demonstrates the lasting impact of this legacy in 3 powerful ways. 30 years on, firstly, the demographics have changed. While rugby maintains its traditional white Afrikaans base, the interest in rugby by Black South Africans has increased to 61% in 2024, up from 52% a decade prior. The game in the country has maintained its global winning status. South Africans enter the 2026 World Cup as back-to-back champions and the number one team ranked worldwide. And thirdly, the leadership legacy. The Mandela, Francois Pienaar leadership legacy lives on. The current much-loved coach, a white Afrikaans, incredible human being, Rassie Erasmus, and the equally loved captain, the first black captain, Siya Xolisi, continue the Mandela Pienaar leadership legacy. Siya and Rassie both understand and know that it's more than the sport. It's more than building a winning team. It's about the culture. It's about the history. It's about the people. Mandela's mantra travels worldwide. In Monaco, in the south of France in 2000, at the inaugural premiere event of the Laureus World Sports Awards, the Oscars of sport, the founding patron, Nelson Mandela, said this: "Sport has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It speaks to the youth in a language that they understand. It has the power to unite that little else does." Charlie Titus used sport to speak to the youth in a language that they understand. As a young child, he grew up in a single-parent home, and guided by his mother, he devoted his life to sport to transform his life. He then used that athletic gift in a Mandela-like fashion to play it forward and to transform the lives of young people, of colleges and cultures and campuses in the United States and West Africa and beyond. He's a living testimony of Mandela's leadership legacy. Mandela's words today still ring true. Sport has the power to change the world. In fact, it already does. So until next time, remember that leading boldly is about making these thoughtful, clear choices. And bold leadership is about taking bold action, just one small step at a time, one step for you, but together with cultural intelligence and understanding that sport is more than sport. It's about culture, it's about history, it's about the people, a giant step for humanity. Take care and take thoughtful, bold action.